Not unlike any other group of young adults, the class of 1979 is one composed of individuals with many interesting concerns. Perhaps this is why our motto fits us so well. It reads, "This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but is perhaps the end of the beginning." Now, this motto is good, because not only does it express our unified interest in the future, it also is ambiguous enough that it allows everyone in our class the opportunity to substitute his and her own personal goals and aspirations in that last phrase, the end of the beginning. But for our class to benefit as a whole from this verse, we must ask the question collectively, the beginning of what? When Winston Churchill first intoned these words some 37 years ago, he was referring to the outcome of a particular battle, the Allies' first victory of the Second World War. Now, I'm certain that we all recognize and realize the parallels between life and war. So perhaps an even more beneficial interpretation might be the beginning of real responsibility. Now, all of us have many responsibilities to God, to our family, to our jobs. But there is one in particular which seems to be more frequently neglected than any of these, and that is our responsibility to our nation. It is appropriate that the last class of the 1970s should consider what our nation desires and expects from us. For it was during our decade that saw political apathy popularized and indolence substituted for activism. American youth in the 1960s kept their opinions constantly in the public eye, greatly influencing legislation ranging from the bill to discontinue the peacetime draft to the constitutional amendment giving 18-year-olds the right to vote. Now, I am certainly not condoning their often destructive tactics, nor their ideological bias, but one must respect their dedication to their convictions and their desire to improve their country by integrating their convictions into the American policy framework. In stark contrast sits the attitude of the 1970s. America's greatest problem is no longer an overactive minority, but an underconcerned majority. Young and old alike are united in complacency and apathy. Little better than half of all the registered voters in the United States exercised their suffrage franchise in either the 1972 or 1976 general elections. In fact, according to percentages, fewer Americans voted in 1976 than in any general election since 1948. And in addition, total voter turnout was only 53% of those of voting age. That is 6.7% fewer than voted in 1968. The United States is allowing itself to fall into rule by minority. Unfortunately, the United States has too many problems to accommodate such apathy. I doubt very seriously that one person in the United States feels that he has all the answers to all of the crises which face us daily. The energy crisis, inflation, national security interests, and I doubt even more seriously that a majority of Americans would agree that this person had that knowledge. But Americans in general do possess the knowledge to overcome each one of these problems. We must communicate, however, communicate to one another our opinions and communicate to our legislators our opinions. This is the essence of democracy. If we, the class of 1979, take this charge seriously, we will experience not only the satisfaction of having fulfilled our responsibility, we will then participate in the beginning of a renewal of the spirit of active concern to a positive influence toward the solution of the crises that are of such concern to us all. Thank you.